Hey guys, it's Kemi, my review for this Hey guys, it's Ken, my review for this episode of Big Brother 21, episode 32. This, of course, was the double eviction episode, and I was heading into this basically hoping that something big would happen. I wanted this episode to end not with Cliff or Nicole leaving. I wanted a big threat taken out. I wanted Holly or Tommy or Christie or Jackson gone. That's what really Jackson was the main person I was pulling for, especially what we saw with him and Holly in the previous episode. But more than anything, I was just hoping for something big to happen here, and oh my god, was that payoff so good. This was easily one of the best episodes of this entire season. I think this was a really great double eviction for sure. And look, double evictions, they typically are standout episodes in Big Brother seasons, but this one more than ever really stuck out. And it's rare that I go into a season of Big Brother this late into the season still feeling optimistic, because I really haven't been optimistic towards most of the season, but I actually do feel this final chunk of episodes, a lot of things could end up happening, and we could actually have a really solid, final few episodes overall, but I guess we'll have to see. But obviously, we'll just get into it right now. So, first half of this episode, it's a slog. Not much to really talk about. We do get this conversation between Christie and Nicole, where essentially Christie's trying to tell Nicole that, like, you can't trust Jackson, you know, you need to cut him. You know, he's not actually willing to go into this Final Four with you guys and things like that. And I do think that she kind of has a point here, but she also doesn't know that Jackson, Holly, Cliff, and Nicole are working together as close as they are. She doesn't really know too much about that. So while I do think that Christie did do a good job with that, I feel like there could have been a little bit more, that she didn't really do a good job in showing why Jackson feels this way. It's mainly just because Jackson has put her on the block constantly, and he hasn't been loyal to her, that she doesn't really feel that he's going to be loyal to everyone. I think Nicole very much felt that as well, and I do think she made the right call here in overall evicting Jessica. Again, as dumb of a move as I think this is, Jessica being evicted over Cliff is a good move. I don't think Cliff should have been evicted at all. I'm glad that Jessica is the one that's gone. I mean, she could have definitely done a little bit more, but she had that one HOH week, and she did a good job with that, and that's really all I have to say there. The interview with Julie especially was very strange. Julie seemed to really rush things out. Jessica wasn't really giving her a clear answer, but this is Jessica we're talking about, so that shouldn't really be surprising. But yeah, I mean, not much to really talk about there overall. It was just very lackluster. Again, I continually hear people say Jackson's playing a great game, and yes, he is winning a lot of comps. Yes, that is very impressive that him and Holly have won things, you know, so continuously in that way, but strategic-wise, no, I don't really think he is. I mean, he's targeted exactly the wrong people. He should not have targeted Jessica at all. He should have targeted Christie. Christie was gunning for Jackson. I don't know why he didn't just stick with Christie. That was his original target the first week he was HOH, but for some reason, he stuck to this deal with her, which he really didn't do a good job of honoring, may I add. I mean, he put her on the block every single week, which I think was kind of ridiculous. I mean, there were other people he definitely could have been up if you wanted to honor this deal with her and wanted to keep her in your good graces. So I actually don't think Jackson's that great of a player, to be honest. I think there have been other players, other better players this season for sure. And again, this is not just me saying, oh, because Jackson is sexist and because he's, you know, emotionally abusive towards Holly, you know, I'm just going to write off his gameplay entirely. I've thought this pretty much the entire season. You guys know this. I just don't think that Jackson's a very good strategist. I think he's a big talker in that way. And I think when it comes to taking out the bigger threats, he has an inability to do it for some reason. It's very odd to me, and I don't really understand why that is exactly, but for some reason, he has an inability to do so, and I think we definitely saw that here this week. But that second half, oh, that second half, oh, that is one for the books for sure. I mean, look, as I said before, there were things that I wanted to happen in this episode, but what happened I truly did not see coming. So we have this HOH comp happen. It was this competition with like a puzzle and things like that, and I thought for sure that, as much as I wanted this to happen, I really thought that, like, Holly or Christie was going to get this. I thought it was going to be one of those two. But no, they don't end up doing well at all. It actually comes down to Tommy and Nicole ends up winning HOH. Oh my god, just coming out of It Chapter 2, I have to say, like I said, I saw It Chapter 2 on Thursday, so I didn't get to see this live, but I go on my phone, and the first thing I see is Nicole has won HOH, and I'm like, what? Like, I had to look at it again. I thought I was like, I thought I was like reading it wrong. Like, I didn't think that was actually true, but I was like, holy shit, she actually did it. And just seeing the victory for her and just seeing how supportive everyone was, I think that alone is going to show how good of a position Nicole is going into finale night. I mean, just look at the way everyone cheered for her when she won. Nobody was upset about the fact that she won this HOH. You saw Jackson was very happy and gracious to give her his key. You saw Christie was happy even though she found out she was going on the block. You know, it was just a really great win overall. And it was great to see someone like Nicole, who was viciously bullied in the first half of this game, rise up in power and really show the true potential that she has as a competitor. And I think she definitely is starting to show that here. It's really great to see. And then, of course, the nominations happened. I thought for sure it was going to be Jackson and Holly, but no, she actually decides to target Tommy and Christie, and I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this was a really bad move. I actually think it was the right move to make, because here's the thing. Yes, hypothetically, she could target those two, and she'd be in good terms with Christie and Tommy, but those two had a Final Four with Jackson and Holly. They're going to try to honor it as much as they can until they simply can't anymore. So I do think it was a good move that she decided to go after Christie and Tommy. Also because Christie was jeopardizing that Final Four from being a thing. I think Nicole was simply worried about, like, you know, if Christie was going to get this into someone's ear, how could this turn out for her? So I think she made the right move in taking those two out, but also just showing that she is a big threat. She's not just going to put up, like, Cliff and, you know, some ancillary player. Like, she's going to do some damage, and that's really great to see. And also just seeing Tommy go on the block was so refreshing. I don't know why it has taken so long for them to target Tommy, but they finally did it, and it's so great to see. I really loved getting to see that for sure. But then it comes down to that veto, and Cliff ends up winning this veto, which again, just seeing those two winning was great to see. Christie got really close, but I'm actually glad that she didn't, because I think if they put up like a Jackson or a Holly as a replacement nominee, this could have been really bad for them. You know, they would have ruined both of their loyalties in that way. You know, Tommy wouldn't think that they're loyal, Jackson wouldn't think that they're loyal, so I do think it was smart that they decided to keep the noms the same. Christie leaves in a complete unanimous vote, and it was just really great to see. After so many weeks of us almost getting that Christie eviction party, it was great to see it finally happen in the way it did, and I definitely really did appreciate that for sure. I have to say, though, I was pretty disappointed with Christie's exit interview with Julie. Not the one we saw on the show, her post-show interview. Mainly because of two things. One, it shows that she was someone who was very emotional. She really couldn't keep it in check. But also because she didn't own her game in any way. Like, Julie was asking her, like, are these emotions, you know, was it strategic or was it legit? Were you actually upset about what was happening? And I like that Christie admitted that, like, yeah, I'm emotional. But she also said that she didn't want to be ruthless. She doesn't want to be this great player. And it's like, okay, but you should want to be. You should want to be ruthless. And I think it's good that Julie said, like, it's okay to be ruthless in Big Brother, because yes, it is. And that's why I think her being compared to, like, Vanessa for, like, a bunch of the season has been pretty unjust. Vanessa, yes, she did cry, but she owned her game. She admitted that she was a ruthless competitor. She admitted that she wanted to win. Christie, on the other hand, hasn't done that. She did the complete opposite. And I was overall just really disappointed by her interview here. I think it could have gone a lot better. I think definitely there was way better things that she could have said overall. But again, it's just great to see Christie gone. So moving forward now, though, I mean, we got the top 5, Jackson, Holly, Tommy, Cliff, and Nicole. It's definitely not the top 5 that I would have expected. I thought for sure that Jackson was going to be evicted in this, double eviction. I think if Christie had won HOH, I mean, that would have been a no-brainer. Jackson would be out the door for sure. But again, I think this was a good move overall because it gives Jackson hope that this Final Four can actually work out between him, Cliff, and Nicole, only for, let's just say, hypothetically, one of them win, which, I mean, I already know who's won and things like that, and I'm sure you guys do too, but again, I'm going to cover that in next week's video. But let's just say one of them end up winning here, HOH, they can then put up a Jackson or Holly and won't feel like they've betrayed them because, oh, there's not many options left. I'm sure the clear target heading into the next week is probably Tommy. I think Tommy will most likely, if it's not Tommy, it's probably going to be Jackson or Holly for sure. I don't see Cliff and Nicole. I think Nicole especially now is in an even better position because now people are going to see that, like, she can win comps when she needs to save people. And I think this could actually take her really far into the game. I know it's late, and I might be overthinking it, but I really do think this was a big moment for Nicole because she's been saying, like, how she wants to build that resume. She wants to have a good campaign heading into the finale, and she's absolutely doing it. She's showing that, like, yeah, she can win things. She can do really well. She's not just this spineless player that was just like coasting through, which is what everyone else thought. That's not the case. It's that Nicole didn't win things because, well, she didn't really need to. Nobody was coming after her, but she did need to win this. She knew she needed a comp, not just so she can secure her fate and make sure that she's safe, but also so people know that she can win something. And, it was just such a great moment to see. I was so happy for her, and just knowing she got a big threat like Christie is really impressive. And honestly, I don't think it mattered, like, who she went after in that regard. Like, again, like I said, I think it's good that she decided to target Christie and Tommy for sure to keep that alliance with Jackson Holly. But let's say she went after them, I don't think things would be that different for her. I mean, she does have she's on pretty good terms with Tommy. Pretty much everyone is, but she's on pretty good terms with them. I think this is going to go pretty well for her. So I really don't think she made that much of a mistake here overall. Like I said, I was very impressed by this week for the most part. The double eviction, that is. Not the beginning of this week. The beginning of this week was pretty much a slog to get through. But the second half of this double eviction episode really did pay off. It definitely gave me what I needed. And I hope going into this finale, going into these, final few weeks, that things turn out really well for Cliff and Nicole. Because other than them, there's no one else to root for. There really isn't at this point. It's really just those two that I can root for. So in these next few videos, if you don't hear me say much about Jackson, Holly, or Tommy, it's mainly because I just don't have much else to say that I haven't already said. I think Jackson is not very good socially. Tommy is the definition of, like, a big talker. He's talked about how, like, he wants to win all these comps, and sure, he's won a bunch of comps, but he was HOH once. He didn't really, I mean, he took out Kat on his HOH, which, I mean, at the time, yes, it was a good move, but he hasn't really shown, like, why he needs to win. It's more, it seems like Christie kind of dragged him there. It doesn't really seem like he himself did a lot to win. Holly, I mean, forget about it. Holly, both of her HOHs have been really lame. She just complains constantly about, why is this happening to me? Why am I not being recognized? It's like, just come on, like, you're on the show, just do something. Do literally anything to not be boring. It's your fault that you haven't done anything. This is why you're being categorized as just Jackson's girlfriend, because you haven't done shit in this game. You took out Nick, and you took out, Sam. Okay, fine, whatever. Not really that big of a threat in retrospect. It was a retrospect for you, but it wasn't really that big of a threat in the game. If you really want to leave your mark, you have to do more than that. And Holly just hasn't. She's stuck by Jackson, and that's kind of it. And that's why Holly is where she is right now. And that's why I do think Holly could potentially end up leaving in the Final Five. I think Holly is someone who people are going to want to take as, you know, a final two sort of thing. And I think if they get out Holly now, it makes Jackson a little bit less, you know, it makes Jackson feel a little bit less powerful because Jackson and Holly have been dominating the game for like the past few weeks. If Holly goes and Jackson is the only one there, he's suddenly not as powerful. Sure, it might fuel him, but, you know, let's say he wins HOH or something like he can't compete in the next HOH. So, you know, there's a lot of scenarios here, and like I say every season, no, I'm not trying to be like Jose when I say scenarios. It's just there's a lot of possible things that could actually end up happening here, and I think Nicole winning HOH has just opened up a whole host of different possibilities. But either way, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw of this double eviction overall, left your thoughts in it. We'll see you guys in my next video, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.